Severance, Season 1, Episode 4. Where are we? What is this? Operation Antarctica. Operation Frozen Fish. Milchick has made a lot of changes overnight. Imagine how disorienting this is. This is the third location that Irving has visited. Okay, Mark's here. What the hell is going on?
What's happening?
What is happening and where are we?
Fucking idea.
I have no idea.
I'm on the ice. I'm on the fucking ice.
This is overwhelming.
Maybe get off of it. Come on.
Slowly.
I'm coming. Be
This is terrifying. Some great physical acting too. Where's Dylan and Helly? If Helly's not here, that adds credibility to my theory that maybe Innie Helly is dead. We're on pause.
Irving!
Beautiful though. Oh, she's here!
Where did you come from?
I don't know. What are we doing out here?
What are we doing out here? It's confusing on the Helly theory. It's also possible that like she dipped in once and now we're back to Innie Helly. It could have been that time where she was lying about what happened.
Are you okay? Did you wake up on the ice too?
Yeah. What about you? On the cliff.
Oh my god.
Wait, but that's weird. How do they stagger their entrances? Is this a simulation?
Oh my god, I mean, I knew there was no actual ceiling, but this is fucking insane.
Okay, it's his first time actually outside, like the outdoors, not in a house. In some ways, though, this is kind of par for the course for Lumen Industries. Is this a reward? Is a punishment? Well, you wanted to go outside so bad. Well, here you go. This is what the outside is like. They loved using this picture. Oh.
I'm thrilled to welcome you to your first ever outdoor retreat and
Team building occurrence. Ordbo.
This Ortbo.
He said it.
You will spend the next 2 calendar days
2
walking
days.
meadows, thickets, brambles, and brooks that make up the Dieter-Egan National Forest.
That'll show you, you degenerates.
Who the fuck is Dieter-Egan?
Dieter-Egan,
Oh, got him.
a text of such sanctity that it is forbidden upon the severed floor. It's waiting for you in Scissor Cave.
These cuts are so great. This editing is so beautiful.
The 4 tempers for the very first
Oh
time.
man, we're going to Egan Cave. This actually is great. This is exciting. Am I crazy? If like, I thought I was going to work, like let's say I'm taking a taxi to the office and I fall asleep and I wake up in the Arctic and they're like, you have 2 days to find the sacred text. This is way better than the office. This is a huge relief depending on what else I have going on. So you're telling me I don't have to work today, get to spend the day with my friends in nature on an adventure to find the sacred text, the hidden 4th text? It makes me even more confused if this is a punishment or a reward because I feel very rewarded, but I think you maybe think it's a punishment. The joke's on you, maybe. You know how much money people pay to simulate this experience but are unable to because, you know, they're the ones choosing it and paying for it? People spend their whole lives lying in wait for an adventure like this, just for anything to happen, any kind of epic thing landing at their feet to at least make it clear for once in your life what the epic adventure is of the moment, instead of always having to find it and choose it and wonder when it's coming. And they're getting paid? They're getting paid for this, right? This is paid time? This is unbelievable.
Stray not from Kier's path, lest you royal nature's wrath.
Yeah, all jokes and religiosity aside,
There will be help
you don't want to
along the
f
way.
around here. Nature is not as nice as your colorless office walls. There's no waffles here. Or are there? Maybe there's waffles in Scissor's Cave.
Happy fortunes, MDR.
This is my favorite episode of Severance. This is awesome. I love this. This might be the very mountain that he's standing on in that picture, for all we know. As legend has it, he tamed the 4 timbers and then like flew off into the sunset. Oh, hi. Wait, is that the... Wait a minute.
It's like Mark.
Maybe there are clones. We saw this in the first episode. What? No way. This has got to be a simulation. This is the help along the way. Very immediate. Happened a lot quicker than I thought.
Trust a word out of that mountebank's mouth. Not even televisually.
I would guess that Irving would like this on some level at least. I can't tell if he's totally discarded the whole Egan interest thing. This would have been the greatest day of his life at some point. Watch Irving become the greatest anti-Egan person of them all and biggest revolutionary because of how deep he was at one point. Beautiful. How do we find Scissor's Cave? Just follow the other marks directions? Why is there another mark? The show's fans are like, can we have some answers, please? The writers are like, did you say questions? Here's some questions. Guys, you're in the woods. for the first time. Try to look a little spirited. Try to have something going on. I mean, you're seeing the sun through the winter clouds. This is also all of their first daytimes, isn't it? I bet in real life, if you take a group of 4 innies that have never seen any of this, some of them at least one of them, maybe all of them would be like, I want to go back to the office. Okay, of course, sure. It's creepy Helly. But it's not super fun if you just like point the whole thing out. Yeah, if they can make physical copies of us too, I mean, now really anything is possible in terms of identity. Who the hell knows? It's just kept here. It's kind of suspicious. Irving. I'm giving Irving the honors.
The lodgings of my mother's womb I shared with another, a twin brother who was called Dieter.
Kier had a twin.
Interesting.
My love for my twin unbalancing my judgment, I acceded and we ventured into the wood, towards
Woe's Hollow.
We're to walk in the brother's footsteps.
To what ends?
He always crept like this, at this hour. Once concealed by flora.
Irving putting his soul into this reading.
The din of his fervor fell strangely into concert with the music of the wood.
This is so cool.
And the snowfall.
Damn, Irving's putting the team on his back, leading the group while reading.
I had no choice but to listen as he spilt his lineage upon the soil.
What does that mean? Oh, okay, now we're getting into a different genre. Okay. That's 3 out of 4. You need to like go.
Oh, there's a me one.
Yeah, there's a you one. Can you not like just go talk to them? Is that really okay? It looks like him. Though like they look so weird, and we're not getting such a clear look at them. They could be body doubles, maybe. I don't know. It looks pretty convincing. It just opens up the world into the point where nothing can be trusted. And it's not that they only exist here either. My guess is that that's what we saw in season 2, episode 1, with the shadowy figure behind Mark, which resembled Mark in a very blurry way. Reality of this aside, I wonder what is the point of this exercise? Because I don't think it's for team building. It's probably for Mark in Cold Harbor. Maybe pushing Mark closer to Kirigan's conceptions or understanding some kind of larger vision that he needs to understand. It's also weird because of the way the last episode ended, where Mark was getting unseveranced, but there's no evidence there's anything off about him now.
You okay?
No. But actually maybe. It's not so bad. Man, it's hard for me to focus on reading when I'm holding still. What are you tired for? You weren't even reading.
What were you and Helly talking about back there?
Whether or not she's okay. Our usual conversation.
I don't trust her. I
Interesting.
think she might be lying about what her outie saw.
Yeah, there were holes in her story. Because people don't garden at night.
It's clear you do not have an objective perspective due to your feelings for her.
My feelings
You're compromised,
for her have
Mark.
nothing to do with anything, okay?
You just admitted your feelings for her. Is that a dead animal? It's not Irving's clone, is it?
The fuck?
I can't tell what animal it is. Is it a dinosaur?
Looks like a seal?
Seal makes more sense.
We should eat it.
No, Irving.
We don't know if there's food waiting at the hollow.
Oh, he's panicking a little bit.
It's an Ortbo, outdoor retreat team building occurrence, right, Mark?
He has such a good memory for words.
Calm down.
He's right to be suspicious, but it doesn't help to panic.
We all know you had a bad experience last time you were outside.
Oh, that's not
Said
relevant.
I had a bad experience.
It has nothing to do with this. It's beautiful. This is beautiful. I wonder where they actually filmed this. There they are, all 4 of them. Your brothers? Your Dieters. Can you come a little bit closer to their faces?
Kier's twin was always with him.
This appearance
That's why
though.
we provided the very same for each.
So
of them.
dramatic. I love it.
This is the tallest waterfall on the planet.
It in fact was not.
We're starving, Mr. Milchek.
Are you?
We got some poached eggs at the office.
Lumen will always protect and provide.
Give him a little taste of
Right
fear
this
and
way.
danger. I'm trying to be safe and warm and eating poached eggs. Oh, that's not. Okay, it's not them. Okay, that makes it better. I'm kind of relieved. They're just doubles. Why are they standing like that then? Or sinister reading, they're making new ones of them. It does work as an explanation. We're doing something with human conception and consciousness. Maybe it's body transfer. Like you make some kind of backup save of your mind and you just move it to a new body and repeat that indefinitely. And that would probably fit in with the whole theme of this Ortbo excursion where they walked in parallel, conquered some major thing, and emerged as one. Dieter died, right? Kier maybe killed him. Is that Miss Huang?
Miss Wong has been readying the grill, for which we brought in copious luxury meats.
Damn, those tents look comfy.
The tents, as you can see, are MDR blue.
I wonder what's the significance of
And the
their
outhouse.
clothing
Stocked
and the color
with
difference.
4-ply washroom tissue.
4-ply, you say? This was pretty luxurious.
For your comfort and safety, torches, which can provide both a heat and a light source.
And a weapon against bears.
Double duty.
Triple duty.
Made you a snow seal.
It's cute.
In case you were hungry.
That's hilarious.
Suppose it sounded alarmist, paranoid, irrational.
It was fine. We were all a little.
Hungry. This is damage control? Why the sudden Helly Irving focus?
Overtime contingency.
There was that moment, I think last episode also. Something's being built. Yeah, the Night Gardener.
It's okay. It won't change anything.
I mean, it could also just be that she's ashamed of what she found out. Could be a red herring. Well, that face change. Yeah, why? Why the hell you focus on Irving? It's not accidental. Though it's tough because the seal thing, pretty biting and not naive. Helly regrets going into that tent. She's like, I didn't come in here for a lecture. I just came to troll you with a snow seal. Whoa, what is this
Dieter lay
instrument?
unwashed in his bedroll, though the Hollow's pool was primed for bathing.
This is before or after
We ate of the hair
he spilled his lineage.
and told each other
He spilled his lineage and needed a bath.
we must return to father, I said. But I promised to look after you in the ether mill.
He murdered him.
He believed, I suppose, that we'd be woodland poppers forever.
Okay, this is maybe a metaphor for the afterlife.
I was looking at him when his eye came out. It popped from the socket, driven by a sudden torrent of pus from his skull.
I don't think that's normal.
Good heavens.
Yes.
And as the pus from his eye thickened into sap,
Helly loves it.
a gaunt bride, half the height
Oh, what was a
of a
woman?
natural woman.
I think Dylan met her at the waffle party.
This is your doing.
I mean, maybe.
You suffered his wantonness. Now he's no one's brother. Only chaos's whore.
Wow. That story was a ride. It's all over the place.
The end.
Helly likes
in the
it.
morning we'll have time for the next chapter.
Oh, but I want to hear more now. Watch them all end with like pus-fueled eye explosions. The literal interpretation of this being that Kirian was just a serial killer. It's really nicely written, even though he's no Rickon. It's not the you are. There's so much to unpack in this story. Not least of which the fact that this is from a compliance manual. Be compliant or else. Imagine the paintings they can do with this. But it seems like it's both a personal account and historical record, but obviously mixed in with Kirian values and maybe a hint at his mission. It's interesting that woe is the element here. I think the woe maybe comes from the fact that, if I'm reading this correctly, either he killed his brother over the disagreement about what they needed to do, and deeper than that, their difference in values and outlook, or just some terrible fate that befell Dieter that this reading suggests is a result of those things, of those choices and values. But the values that come out of it maybe aren't even necessarily terrible things. They would just be terrible at an extreme, like being unclean. He could have washed himself in the lake, but he didn't. He just lay there dirty, caked in his wasted lineage. Slothfulness or frivolity, it's like we could just enjoy our lives and live carefree existences in the woods, which may be both literal woods and like the layman's existence, just living day to day, not really thinking about anything higher or more noble purpose, greater vision. Instead, there's very important work to be done. Man has a higher calling, maybe a godly calling. You can't spend all of your time and all of your life just sitting there telling rhyming jokes. And it's a cautionary tale for Dieter, who in one way or the other reaped what he sowed from that lifestyle, falling into some kind of like natural, material-based, physical, hedonistic maybe type damnation. There's something like paganistic about Dieter versus returning to the church or something. I don't know. He became the hedonistic forest in which he was living. Not really sure what to make about the woe specter though. Maybe just some chick he met in the woods. They also mentioned chaos specifically by name. This whole chaos and order thing. Order being like very paternal.
Did his brother really die that way, Mr. Milchek?
I think there were some creative liberties taken with the story.
The handbook enriches our work with tales of the founder's life.
This will be illuminating. Okay, he's a literal interpreter.
What?
It's fun to watch Helly now because, like, you can imagine two different things at the same time, two different reasons for everything.
He turned into the forest because he masturbated.
Right?
I mean, seriously, that's actually the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You gotta look deeper, Helly. R.
Right? He jerked off in front of his brother.
Alright, so I'm not the only one who read it that way. See, Irving, I don't know, Irving is a man of soul and literature. It's not something to laugh at. I don't know. You don't have to believe it.
We often laugh at what we simply don't understand.
I hate to like be on this side, but I'm kind of with Milchick and Irving on this one, even though Irving isn't voicing
I
it.
thought I knew would have processed more thoughtfully.
Yeah, like, there are levels to this where people get kind of caught on the first level of the thing. Like, the story's ridiculous. It's very unlikely that he turned into a tree because he masturbated. And yet, to, like, throw the whole thing away, to think it's just ridiculous, to not get anything out of that at all, it's not the fault necessarily of the work. There's extremes to it, right? Like, there would also be an extreme of maybe what Milchick represents to some extent, of like, this is exactly what happened, and the important thing is the words themselves and the events themselves. And it's important because it's in the book, and we know the book is important because in the book, it says the book is important. Then the other extreme is like, this thing that people care about, this tradition, this history, the archetypes that exist in this thing that are triggering something emotional. You know, there's a reaction to it, which isn't arbitrary or random. It comes from something. It's at least somewhere in the vicinity of some kind of human truth that is probably a necessity of having any kind of experience or feeling at all. That because I found something strange, the whole thing can be summarized as stupid, compared to which I'm smart. You can go with it a little bit, you know, you can reflect on it, you can think about it, you can disagree with it ultimately. You can always ultimately decide what works for you and what doesn't. But like, it's worth trying to meet these things halfway. This is somewhat connected to one of my favorite things that comes out of Avatar. The true mind can weather all lies and illusions without being lost. You always have the final say in what is meaningful to you and what you do with the things that you encounter. But it doesn't necessarily mean destroying it or just trying to avoid it completely or hiding from it. Like, if you have a really full, rich interest and experience, you're perfectly safe going all the way into something terrible and will be able to sort that out. And ideally, you want to actually get something from it.
The team I thought I knew would have processed more thoughtfully.
At the same time, there's a place for humor. I mean, it can be all of it. It just depends.
The marshmallows, please.
This is one of the things I
Throw
appreciate.
them in the fire.
Oh, this is... No!
Mr. Milchick.
This is anti-Milchick's
on.
character.
No.
The Milchick I know would have still given him the marshmallows because he's a true professional. This is the dude that literally got bit by a human and then immediately went to host someone's goodbye party. Oh, this is a dark season for Milchick. That was petty. The real spirit would be like, you can be disappointed, but you recognize just where they are and you share with them your marshmallows. You just still love them for who they are. And
Why?
yeah, why?
Marshmallows are for team players.
It reminds me of Klinger and Gillen Ross.
They don't just hand them out.
Put that coffee down. Coffee is for closers only.
Good night.
Who can sleep after this? I'm all riled up. Irving a little bit left out because these are his friends. But like, he kind of gets Milchick's side.
funny.
Yeah, right. Good on him for voicing it.
And stop making goo-goo eyes at her.
Oh, wow.
Just tell us, Helly.
Oh, he's just going after her.
What?
He's going after it. You could test her, right? You
The
could
Night
test her.
Gardener.
Or you could ask her about memories from when you knew she was an innie. Irving is worth listening to. Irving's always been a bro. If he's got concerns, he could do it a little
Using
nicer,
your
but...
pupils to make love to her, while your outie's wife rots away
He
somewhere.
also could be a little bit, you know,
Shut up.
upset. That was a little bit uncalled for. He's sensitive about Bert. It might be hard to watch a couple right now. That part is not so, you know, the Irving that we know and love. But I mean, it's Irving. Personally, I would want to hear Irving out. And if Helly is indeed the original innie self, she can clear it up pretty easily. And they're not wrong to be suspicious of this company and their very odd, eccentric behaviors. I mean, they airdropped them into the Arctic today.
Yeah, fuck you, Irv.
I hate to see Dylan turning on Irv,
So
though.
it's 3 against 1 now, huh?
Especially after what we've been through.
We all know Irving's upset because he can't ever see Bert again.
That also is true. That also is a deflection. There's like multiple things happening here. That was kind of a smokescreen, even if it was correct. Irving's got a lot going on. I mean, not just the Bert stuff, but he was such a
Hey,
devotee.
Irv.
Fuck you all!
Oh, I hate to see this. You hate to see it. Maybe this retreat was a success for Lumen. They're dividing us, can't you see? I just leave Dylan out in the cold? What did Dylan do? Besides being rude to Irving. They're still salvageable. They're gonna be crispy now. Just put a stick in it. They don't know about marshmallows, I guess. I feel like here Egan wouldn't approve of the waste. Very frivolous of you to just throw the whole marshmallow thing with Egan's face on it into the fire so that no one can have any. Isn't that the flesh of Egan or something? There's probably some weird rule there. You just spilled the marshmallow's lineage. I know I'm going off the rails here, but even the spilling the lineage thing, even that, as ridiculous as that is, I can directly think of something that is interesting about that. I'm very poorly versed in the Bible and religion. All I have is the things I failed to actively block out for the few years I was in Catholic school. But for one reason or another, just recently, the memory popped up for me that there's something in the Bible about like wasting your seed or spilling your seed into the earth. And when I had that thought, I looked it up, and I think it has something to do more with like marriage laws or whatever. But the thing I was thinking about initially was actually there's maybe great metaphorical significance in there, because even without God, let's say you believe in one way or another humans are an extension of the creation of the universe and the world, and that life is good and potential is good, and creating towards building potential and building things has some kind of goodness value inherent within. And you also recognize that there's a natural atrophy to things, which is the structure struggle we're fighting against when we build, and so to voluntarily or willingly destroy, maybe we could consider in some very abstract sense a sin, combined with the knowledge that nothing is costless. It's the basic principle of alchemy. All decisions, all things you do have some cost somewhere. So if you're not in some way on net working towards things that are productive and building with those resources, you're actually working with the forces of decay and atrophy that we've maybe established as the antithesis of the good. And in creation, there's this weird, hard to describe line where things have to cross, where before that line it's nothing, and after that line it's something. In anything where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, like for example a human, where I think it's clear that humans are more than just like their cells, because if you somehow took all those cells and scattered them outside of a human, they wouldn't be able to do any of the things that humans can do. There would be no contribution towards creation. For those things, if you expend the energy, but don't cross that binary threshold where like you have made something, the work is complete, the product is complete, then that itself is not necessarily bad, except that you expended a lot of resources and you used a lot and things have been destroyed in the meantime in your efforts. This is actually a terrifying thought. It's a huge burden to bear. That if you're not working towards something, if you're not building things, if you're not making the world better than you found it, even if that's just in some small way on net, in a way you're sinning through your negligence. And so take spilling of seed, which Dieter was doing in the forest. You can maybe take that to be, there is what contained the genetic material of a human that is now not a human. There was the potential in there for it to be a human, not a human. Whatever you feel about life and conception, all that doesn't really matter. It works as a really nice, clear, intuitive metaphor for that as a principle, where you don't want to be frivolously wasteful. Pleasure is not a bad thing, but it's not necessarily the same thing as goodness. And I think whatever you think about all this, it's pretty clear that like not all pleasure is good. And this actually maybe turns out to be the most objective scale by which to judge whether or not it's good. So even in this ridiculous story about jerking off in the woods, it's hard to say it's nothing, like you're just not trying. And then from there, it also happens to be hilarious that dude jerked off and turned into a tree.
Probably, carrot.
What?
Dieter's penis.
That's a solid theory.
That was mean. Of me.
We're a little cold and tired and outside.
You kinda deserved it.
No, it doesn't work that way. But it's nice that you care about Helly's feelings.
I can make goo-goo eyes at anyone I want.
I can have 2 wives. I have 2 bodies, turns out. I got 2 selves.
Are you okay?
Why can't I have 2 wives?
Sorry if I'm
No. Almost missed that one. You almost got me, Mark.
I'm looking for your wife.
Yeah, this wasn't going to go well forever.
No, we'll
There's
find her.
conflicting forces
so
here. I don't know if that's the answer she was looking for. You're still my #1 office girl, though. Careful spilling your seed around here. I've heard that bad things happen at Woes Lake Creek. How experienced she is also a clue. A potential clue. Do you know how to do this? Maybe, do they know how to do this? This is included in their memory package. Mark seems pretty equipped with those buttons. What's Alan up to? Alan the alien. Irving having the real spiritual journey here, the real soul search. Irving also finding some woe in the forest. This is how you make any babies. It's gonna be very hard to explain. Pretty sure this violates Kier policies. Just saying.
Miss Wong!
You lost?
Mr. Milton!
Weren't they like where you started from? It's their fault really for making these tents so cozy. Oh no. These two look like cozy ass tents though. The heater and everything. Irving might end up eating seals after all. There's always seal.
Mr. Milton!
I feel like this might lead to some kind of religious epiphany of his own. Irving could have so many arcs, man. There's so many arcs for Irving. He also could just die. He could start his own cult, organization. Oh no! And he sleeps here after leaving the warm tents. The warm, cozy tents with the heaters. He sleeps on a rock in the cold. These two experiences are not the same. Some people are having more fun than others. This is horrible. And the color too, the warm light and the cold blue. The lovers and the lonely man. The hot and the cold. Who is truly better off, though?
Like who I was on the outside.
Okay. Now, this is a reasonable explanation. That was my first thought. I mean, when I heard her alibi, it also would be hard to tell them, but also has a double meaning. It's just hard to know. They're playing it so that we don't know, I think. I didn't like who I was on the outside. That could just as easily be Audi Helly saying that about herself. And there's definitely precedence for Audi Helly not being very likable. I can't say too much for fear of spoilers, but there's some thematic overlap here with Squid Games.
I don't care who you are out there. I care who you are with me.
It's the correct dialogue choice. +5 romance points. Oh my god. Is this because of the thing he did? That ill-advised procedure?
Yeah, okay.
How does that all fit in? Maybe they aborted it, like halfway through. Okay. This looks like it's gonna be some kind of vision. Okay, yeah, he's also accidentally kind of unseveranced. He's got that au naturel procedure. This is so cool. This is so well done. Get to work. Oh, hi, Bert. A bear? Maybe it's a bear. Oh, it's whoa! What's up? They even got whoa working. You're all out of whack, man. Spell something? There's a picture. Yo. And jump scare. Jump startle. I appreciate that they didn't do a blaring sound effect for that. So we got A, G, E, and N. Those, of course, are the letters that you need to spell Egan. Initially, I thought it might be the letters of DNA, but it doesn't match. Though, there are 4 letters to DNA and 4 core tempers. So now I'm definitely reaching. No idea about the numbers, though. 3, 5, 7, 0. Oh, Helly is gone. Who knows? Who knows?
Hey, where's Helly?
I don't know. Irv never came back last night. He's not in his tent.
What?
And you waited till now?
Mr. Milchick?
That's dirty.
Mr. Milchick!
Thought we were bros.
Mark!
He used to be so overprotective of Irving. The word is, if you stand next to the waterfall, you can't hear your brother crying. I really wonder what the net result of this retreat will be. This definitely will have an impact on, like, their entire lives. What a coincidence.
Hey, kid.
What's for dinner?
What are you doing down here?
That has multiple meanings.
I slept outside.
On purpose.
I almost froze to death.
On purpose.
What you said to me last night? It was cruel.
And correct.
Helly was never cruel.
There's something to that. She was rude. That's an interesting idea. I wouldn't say she was nice either. What's kind of weird for me is that if you hadn't said that, I actually would have gone the other way with it. I would say Helly was never caring of Irving. Maybe I just never noticed it, but I don't really remember them having any majorly significant interactions in season 1. It didn't seem like they had much of a relationship at all, but in this season so far, I've noticed very clearly that Helly is like approaching Irving.
Who would have the power to send their Audi to the 7th floor?
Irving actually is a master detective. I guess he's doing detective work in his real life, right? He's well suited for it. Oh my god! Are we just murdering?
Mr. Milchick!
Okay, we're tattling. That's much better. But like Milchick, if it were true, Milchick would know. Irving wouldn't murder anyone.
Mr. Milchick!
I caught her. I caught the spy. This just makes him look bad though.
She's an Audi!
This doesn't prove anything. Now she's just a very wet and cold Audi. Or any.
You stop! No! Stop it!
You just make yourself look crazy, bro. I mean, the positive reading of this is that he has no intention of killing her or harming her, just, you know, giving her cold face, but instead trying to call their bluff. Because if she actually is someone important enough to be able to send her Audi, they wouldn't let any damage happen to her. They would maybe show their hand. The negative reading of it...
She's not Helly! She's an Egan!
In his mind, he's trying to save, like, the original Helly are.
Turn her back!
Oh, it's confirmed.
Do it, Seth!
Now she values her life. Where was the self-preservation instinct when any Helly was making threats and doing some hangings?
Remove the Glasgow block now. No!
Wow, Irving really got to the bottom of this. And he saved any Helly, maybe. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible for them, for the management.
Stand!
You have revealed our nefarious plot, and we're very unhappy about that.
You have threatened collegial murder in the pond of Woe's Hollow.
To be fair, you can't be dunking your colleagues into the lake. Oh no! Mark has power.
I'm sorry!
Yeah. We all owe Irv an apology for not at least listening and hearing him out.
It's all okay!
He sacrificed his life for this, maybe.
Just remember, hang in there.
Wow, we actually got an answer a lot earlier than I thought, and I wish we didn't if it means Irving's gone. Maybe I don't want answers. This is the cost. Hang in there, not the best choice of words of the show, though. Speaking of Helly.
You are no longer authorized to consort with any severed employee, nor they with you.
Well, I can do what I want now. What are you gonna do, kill me? Death plus?
Leave him alone!
Yeah, Milchik has to think carefully here. You're on the razor's edge of losing them all. It's already a terrible look that you were hiding this. And then killing Irving. That's kind of over, no? They're not going to stand for that. He did have some kind of epiphany or some kind of religious awakening. There's no fear in this man's eyes. He's broken through the authority. I would love to see them make a stand for this.
Your workspace will be cleared.
Oh no.
It will be as if you, Irving B., never even existed nor drew a single breath upon this earth.
No, but we'll remember.
May Kier's mercy follow you into the eternal dark. Now.
Oh, this is terrible. I never thought I would feel sad about a non-death. Okay, I'm not gonna accept it yet. I feel bad because in these shows, the things that are supposed to have an impact on me, like the deaths, they just don't land like they're supposed to because I have a very, very sharpened sense of denial. I don't believe it until I see proof, and you can't prove it. So I also don't know if it's been established though, like really it makes sense that this would be the case. That you can delete innies, right? Have we ever seen someone be deleted? All we've seen is the Audi just gets full control again, which could be just taken as like your pause, which is not the same thing as death, though it doesn't bode well for this Irving if he can't get back in the building. And yet, I choose to be hopeful. Wow. So yeah, this was my favorite episode of Severance. I feel like this was a masterful episode all around. Looked beautiful. Great concept, taking us out of the office just suddenly. There's an actual reveal. There's an actual plot reveal and an answer. There's the lore, which I think has really practical, useful, important significance thematically, metaphorically. Also very interesting and compelling that it's not so black and white, that the characters we're rooting for are all the way there and are always or necessarily on the right side of things. I think it was a really great choice having Irving be one of us, so to speak, that voiced that to a degree. And I had to think about this more, but it's probably no accident that we have in the same episode Irving's solemnness, and in previous episodes his overall character, his spirituality, his artistic soul, and his natural propensity for some kind of spirituality, his deep appreciation for things, and his ability and willingness and braveness in self-sacrifice. Even though he was kind of cast out, he was all alone. He spent his last night on a rock while everyone was comfortable in their luxurious heated tents, and he finished the episode and maybe his whole existence with his head held high. You can also compare this event to episode 1 where he was ready to like just end it for nothing, you know, out of sadness. But this is maybe the same result, but feels completely different. And he can't be erased. It's not possible because of the people who witnessed this event. There's the fruit, you know, there's the synthesis. There's the thing that turned from a 0 to a 1 that actually impacted and affected the world.